Hello and welcome to It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and this week we're joined by the Director of Athletics for Troy University. That's Jeremy McClain. And Jeremy, I know it was spring break last week. We didn't have a show, but we didn't get to preview the women's conference tournament, but we can definitely review it because I know it was an exciting week for Troy University and the women's basketball team coming home with the Sun Belt title.
You bet. It's anytime you go into those tournament settings, you look at how the bracket lays out, and if you win, who you play, and those kind of things. And so going into that as a 4 seed, you fall into that bracket where if you win, the next game is against the 1 seed if they win, and then possibly against the 2 seed. And that's exactly how it lined up for us. So, our women's team went in and beat a South Alabama team that had beaten us twice during the year to start it off, the 5 seed, and then beat Arkansas State, who the number 1 seed, who went 19-1 in conference play during the year, and then beat what was the other hottest team in the conference, Arkansas Little Rock, to win it on Saturday. And it was just it was a great experience. So excited for our student athletes, for our coaches, our fans. Just a really fun experience, and then the opportunity to take that next step in postseason play.
And not only did they win it, they won it in thrilling fashion with some of the regulars that had been there all season long, and named to the All Sun Belt teams. That's Ashley Beverly Kelly with the shot to take the lead, and then Caitlin Ramirez with the block to end it. And I mean, just watching the highlight of it with Barry McKnight on the call, it was just a great ending to the game.
Yeah, it was. And I think the interesting thing about the tournament was, every game it was somebody different.
Right.
I mean, obviously Ashley Beverly Kelly is the steady force there and the senior on that squad. But it was Amanda Mendoza, and against Arkansas State and knocking down 6 threes, I think. And so it was somebody different, and RJ Saunders on that last game against Arkansas Little Rock. And so somebody different every night who stepped up to contribute to beating some really, really good basketball teams. And so it was, very proud of the team effort of that group.
And as you mentioned, they do get to move on. They get to go to the big dance, which I know is an exciting thing for any of these people who've grown up playing basketball. So they get to go now to Oregon State, and they'll be the 15 seed facing the 2 seed. That's an upset that's never happened in the women's tournament, but there's a first time for everything. And I know you're going to get to go out there with them, and going to be an exciting trip for everybody involved.
No doubt. I think it's a great opportunity for us as a program, for us as a university, to be on that stage and have a chance to go out and play in that type of environment. It is going to be a challenge, like you said, a 15 versus a 2 on their home court. Right. They're Pac-12 champs. They've got Conference Player of the Year. They've got some really talented players, and so it'll be a challenge. But at the same time, I think we're playing as well as we have. We play a style of basketball that other coaches don't like to see coming, and so like you said, we'll line up, and I know our coaches and players will prepare and have a game plan, and we'll be ready to tip it off on Friday.
And as you mentioned, it's a little bit different than the men's tournament where you have the regional sites and everybody goes to basically a neutral site. This one's going to be at their home court, so they'll have a definite home court advantage. How did they prepare for something like that?
Yeah, I think it's you're right. It is different, and so you've got a pod of 4 teams that's going to be there playing at Oregon State, and I think I think they averaged about 5,000 people a game. Right. So their women's basketball is really has been really good over the past few years and has continued to get better. And so I expect to be playing in front of a really, really good crowd, and I hope our players and they feed off of that. Right. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to play in front of that crowd. We hadn't had a lot of chances to do that this year, and so I hope that gets them excited and they feed off of that.
And I know Oregon is a long way away for some people, but if you can make that trip, make it. It's maybe a once-in-a-lifetime. Hopefully it won't be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, but make the trip out to Oregon. If not, the game will be on national TV. It'll be on ESPN2 at 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon, right?
That's right, 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, ESPN2, and I would tell everybody to keep their eyes and ears open. We're going to leaning towards doing some kind of watch party. Okay. Either here on campus or in town, and so we'll try to work out some specifics on that, but we'll have that ready by the end of the week, and plenty of time to give everybody a heads up. But we'll try to get everybody together in one place if you want to do that and watch the game as a group. And so be looking for that.
Very exciting times for the women's basketball team. Lots of other things happening. I know baseball, softball, both home over the weekend, both starting their Sun Belt schedules. Baseball playing a top-ranked Louisiana Lafayette team. Went 1-2 on the weekend, but played some pretty good baseball in a couple of close games.
Yeah, it really did. Like you said, every game it was really could have gone either way, and a couple of key innings for us there. But continue to pitch pretty well, right. Which has been a theme for our squad this year, and have done an excellent job there. And would love to have won that series, and I think Coach Smart will say the same thing. But it's that first weekend of the year, and we got a chance to kind of build from there. It kind of the toughest. It's interesting with our baseball schedule. The past 2 weeks or so, or 14 games, so probably 3 weeks, have really been challenging, and so we've kind of gotten through that, right. and now we kind of go into full-on conference play, and conference play is kind of bookended by the two best teams. You got Lafayette to start it off, and then South Alabama here at our place to end the conference play. So it'll be interesting. So hopefully we can catch our breath. No midweek games this week, right. and get ready for to go on the road and play a really good Georgia Southern team.
And same thing with softball. They started off 1-2, but again, a young team, and it'll just take time to get things rolling. But again, they played well all season long. So.
Yeah, that's right. I've really been impressed with how they've come together. They got some, just like baseball, got some really young players in some key positions, and but have really done a lot of good things. I think are 17-7, but like you said, open conference play. Went 1-2 this weekend, but have a chance to build on that this week, and I think head over to App State this weekend, and so have a chance to continue to improve, and it's really been fun to watch them to this point.
And a couple of other highlights that we didn't get to talk about, not being here last week, but baseball, they got a big win over Auburn, but another team that got a big win over Auburn, and several other teams, was the golf team with a big win up at Auburn at their Invitational.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Actually, that tournament, and then this past weekend, they won the tournament at Auburn and beat several really good teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think Auburn's ranked in the top 5 in
right.
the country. And then this past weekend, I think finished 6th, was in another really good field, so against some really good competition, and probably shot one of the best rounds we've ever shot in round 2 of that tournament. So it's really encouraged with what's going on there with our men's golf program, and looking to build on that. And I think we're ranked in the top 50 in the country right now. And so exciting, and really building some momentum as we move on in the year.
And the same thing with the women's team. I know they're playing well. Fatima Fortentes-Cano has also started off the season strong, and she just seems to continue to plug along.
That's right. She's already got one tournament championship under her belt, and like you said, I think they're really starting to kind of come together as a squad, and have played really well, and are getting better and better at the right time. And so looking forward to both of those teams being in the mix to play in the postseason.
And I know Coach Mark Davis of the track team has got to be happy right now. Not only his team is performing well, but their outdoor season, and it's already warm weather. Normally this time of year it's cold and they're still having to get used to it, but it is warm right now, so they're enjoying things.
No doubt. I think our baseball and softball teams would say the same
right.
thing. We've had a great break with the weather. You talk about young squads. Now he's in a situation where he's got a really young team, right. But every time I look up, I see a freshman or sophomore putting up new personal bests, mm-hmm. and so that's really encouraging. And I know they're working really hard, and so we're excited about what they're doing as a squad as well.
And final thing is football season. Practice will begin on a week from Tuesday, so right. March 22nd. And so right. that's coming up, and I know those will be opportunities for fans to get out there and see them, and then scrimmages will follow not long after that.
That's right. Exciting time for them to get back on the field, and like you said, we'll have several scrimmages in April. April 9th will be our Hall of Fame game, and then April 23rd will be our T-Day game. Okay. And so those are kind of 2 key dates as we move forward, but we'll hit on those some more. But excited about them being back at it, and I know they're ready to get back out there.
You're exactly right. And just one more time reminder, Friday, 4 o'clock, it will be on ESPN2, but just keep your eyes open for a watch party. There'll be information on TroyTrojans.com, or I'm sure an email will go out.
So, that's right.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here talk some women's basketball with the head coach of the Sun Belt champion Troy Trojans. That's Coach Chandler Rigby. And Coach, congratulations. I know it's been a very exciting week for y'all, and that week will continue on as y'all go to face Oregon State. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's a dream. It's a dream come true. It's always been a dream of mine, but now with this special group of ladies we have and getting to represent Troy, it's just more than a dream come true.
Well, let's talk about the conference tournament. I know y'all went in as a 4 seed and got to start things off against South Alabama, so kind of a big rivalry matchup to start things off, and y'all came out with a big win.
Yeah, that was a tough game because they had beat us twice in the regular season, and we had that white elephant in the room of we had went and lost the first game in that tournament the last 2 years. Right. So we said if we could get by the first game, anything can happen, but it was getting by that first game. And it was a tough game. We shot the lowest percentage we shot all year, and it just we couldn't get anything going in that game, right. But found a way. We put some people off the bench in the game in the fourth quarter, end of the third quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter. Clarissa Banks and Takeria Gibbs, they forced 8 turnovers and 8 possessions, and it turned the game for us.
And then Arkansas State, a team that had looked unbeatable for much of the year, 19-1 going into that. And then y'all got a big victory.
Yes, of course, number 1 seed. They're 39 in the nation in rankings, and just they seemed unbeatable because they had a senior team, a team of seniors who had been to the dance, had been there 2 years and kind of been denied their chance to win it in the end. So everybody just kept talking about all year how it's their year, it's their year, it's their year. And again, it was just a perfect timing, but we played our most perfect game that game. We couldn't have, if we would have played that way the first night and not so much the second night, I wouldn't be sitting here today talking about this. Right. We played almost a perfect game. Everybody was hot from the floor, did a lot of things right, and pulled off the upset.
And then the championship game, it really a back and forth game, came down to the end, and then ABK with the big shot, and then Caitlin Ramirez with the block. I mean, kind of your big stars all season long, and they're the ones who kind of win the game for you. Just way it's perfect ending.
Yeah, you couldn't have written out anything better. I mean, you really couldn't. We knew our bigs had to play big in that game, Caitlin Ramirez and Kristen Emerson, because UALR had such good inside presence, and they came out and they didn't have their best game. Still found a way to keep it close in the end. Substitute came off the bench, freshman, Latia Filsamy. We put her in for Caitlin towards the end, and she, I think, had 10 rebounds, and she made 4 crucial points right before ABK hit that last shot. So she put us within striking distance. And she had actually been out and not practiced with us for 2 weeks because she had an injury. Right. So we just kind of threw her in there, and she just was fearless as a freshman and went in there and did what she did. But yeah, the most noticeable thing is Ashley Beverly Kelly having the courage to step up and hit that shot at the end, and then Caitlin making the block to save the game.
Just an exciting win. And I know, what were your emotions just immediately following that, just knowing you're going to the big dance now?
Oh, well, first of all, it didn't hit me that I was going to the big dance. It's just the fact that we had won that particular game, I just immediately, when it happened so fast, I just turned to Coach Neil Harrow and said, did we win that? We won that, because I almost couldn't believe it. And he said, we won, and everybody was jumping around. But it was only when Steffi Sorensen from ESPN put the microphone in my face and said, how does it feel to go to the big dance? My knees buckled. I almost couldn't stand up. I was so full of emotion to think that we're getting to represent Troy University at the big dance. It's amazing.
And it's got to be a dream come true, not just for you, but for all your players that maybe grew up playing basketball.
Yes, and it's such a great story because our motto is faith, and talked all year about how it's that's the way to fight your battle and win your battles. Always have faith, more faith in the other person than your opponent, and just strengthen your faith, and that was a motto. So it just showed all throughout that tournament how it just paid off, and hopefully it will pay off. I know it'll pay off going forward as we go into the NCAA tournament.
And just one final question about this is, I know during your 6-game losing streak we had you in here and you talked about, well, we can get hot at the right time, we can carry this over, and that's exactly what y'all did. Y'all got hot right at the end of the season, carried it into the tournament. So did you ever think during that 6-game losing streak that this would be the result in the end?
Well, I was still visualizing it and telling the team, I mean, because that's what a leader is, your deal hope. And so, yeah, I was still visualizing it. I mean, the 6 games losing it really didn't deter us. We just adjusted, learned some lessons, and kept pushing forward.
Well, I know you got a big test ahead of you. You're going to Oregon State on Friday, or you're leaving on Wednesday. You'll be playing them on Friday at 4 o'clock. It'll be on ESPN2, so national televised. What do you know about Oregon State?
They're huge. They're very, very good. Just talking to other coaches in their conference, they fully expect this team to be a Final Four team. They're that good. Right. They're I would say I guess I'm an optimist, but I think if you're going to play a number 2 seed, you're coming in as 15. This is a good matchup for us because they are huge. But I would think where their weakness would be in running and spreading the floor out, which is what we do.
Right.
So we'll see. It'll be very interesting. By no means is the pressure on us. The pressure's on them. They're expected to win. It's on their home floor. But we're Trojans, and that's kind of what we do is run in there and upset people.
Now, it'll be the first experience for you and Troy since 1997. Are y'all going to do anything different when you get out there, or just try to keep things the same?
We'll definitely try to keep things the same. I mean, some things are really different. Like we're getting to go on the NCAA. I didn't know this, but they fly you on a jet there, and they're flying our band and our cheerleaders and some of our administrators. So we've never traveled like that to a game. So that's different. But once we get there, we will definitely try to keep things as common as possible.
Well, Coach, I know a very exciting time for you, and congratulations to you and your whole team, and hopefully y'all are enjoying the experience and pull off a couple of upsets.
Thank you. We hope to make all the Trojans, everybody back here, really proud. Thank you.
All right, thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here to talk some baseball with the head coach of that team, and that's Coach Mark Smart. And Coach, we were just talking off air. It's been a busy go at it so far for y'all. 18 games in the first 4 weeks, and that's a tough schedule for anybody. But this week you've got a little bit of a break, so are y'all just kind of taking it easy this week?
Well, you're right, Jonathan. The first part of our schedule got away from us numbers-wise. As of Sunday, we had played the most games in the country at 18, and so I'm comfortable with the start. 10-8 is not what we'd like to be, but that we managed that stretch very well.
Right.
And pitching's always a challenge in those stretches. And we haven't swung the bat terribly well in those first 18 games, but we've come out okay. Disappointed in the series loss at home to Lafayette. Good team, everything we expected, but certainly we expected to win the series and couldn't get that job done Sunday. But to get more to it, this week is a regroup week for us. We'll have a light workout today just to get back acclimated. A little bit more tomorrow than we're on the road this weekend, but just not having to play, not having to get ramped up for a game. We'll get back to some fundamental practice sessions. Since the opening day of the season, we've practiced twice.
Wow.
And that's not a lot of repetition for a baseball team. Playing is good, but sometimes you need to step away and just work on some things, and we haven't had a lot of opportunities to do that.
And I know you said you wanted to get that series win against Louisiana Lafayette. You did get a big win on Saturday, and Lucas Brown pitched really, really well. Can you just talk about his effort out there?
Well, he was masterful. Complete game, which you don't see a lot of these days. Managed his pitch count well. Gave up 7 singles. They did not hit the ball hard throughout the day. And the best thing for me as his coach, Lucas, you always want to see a guy finish strong. He struck out 6 in the game, which he's not a strikeout guy. He's a ground ball guy. But 5 of the last 6 outs were strikeouts. Right. He was really strong to finish. And, the game was still in the balance. We were up 4-1. But I was really proud of the way he closed the game. He had a real bulldog there at the end. He wanted to finish the game, and he went 1-2-3 in the ninth and cruised to the finish line. So that was a much-needed win and a great effort on his part. I thought Grant Bennett did good enough to win on Friday night. Right. He came out 2-2 after 7. We gave up 2 unearned runs in the 6th inning. He was plenty good. Both Grant and Lucas have been really good for us up to this point in the season.
Oh, and you also got an outing out of a guy you hadn't seen so far this year in Houston Mabry last week against UAB. Threw really, really well in a 10-0 victory in that game.
Well, it was really important, too, the way it came out. We had a 2-game midweek, which are tough at this level. We had gotten embarrassed the night before on the road at Samford. We'd given up 20 runs and just played terrible the last 4 innings of that game. So going into the next night on the road, you need a starter to go out and give you some innings. Well, not knowing what he was going to do because he had thrown 1 inning to that point, Jonathan, 6 shutout innings on the road, gave up 4 singles, masterful, terrific, great change of speeds, threw strikes, no walks. And for him to go 6 innings with not a lot of time on the mound, coming off an injury, that was really big for our team. And while he was in there, the score was in the balance. It was 4-0 when he came out. We ended up winning 10-0, but all the damage came after Houston had finished. So that was a huge time for him to really establish himself, and I look forward to seeing him continue to develop.
Yeah, it gives you another extra arm for some of these
No
midweeks.
doubt, no doubt. Weekend and certainly midweek games.
I know you'll be right back at it this weekend on the road in Sunbelt play, heading to Georgia Southern. What do you know about them?
Well, they got off to a really good start last weekend in the league. They swept Appalachian State on the road, which anytime you win a series on the road or certainly sweep, you're playing well.
Right.
They've pitched really well. They're much like our team. They're not a big offensive team by the numbers. They've pitched very well, and oddly enough, they're pitching well, and they got 2 freshmen in their rotation, Saturday and Sunday, and their Friday night starter is really good, returning all-conference guy from last year. So youth, some inexperience, but they certainly don't look like it on paper because of the success they've had early in the season.
All right, Coach. Well, I know you're looking forward to winning the series on the road, trying to get back even in Sunbelt play, hopefully getting a sweep, and good luck to y'all.
Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate you having me.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome to our final segment of It's Tea Time, and we're here to talk some men's golf with the head coach, and that's Coach Matt Terry. And Coach, it's been a pretty good start to the spring for y'all, and a big win up at Auburn a little over a week ago, and then playing at Florida State. You didn't quite get the result, but again, played pretty well. Can you just kind of highlight those 2 tournaments for me?
You know, they were both really good. The guys didn't have a lot of reflection time at Auburn.
Right.
We had a day off, and we traveled to Tallahassee, but the guys played really well at Auburn. Played head-to-head with the number 5 ranked team in the country at their place, the final 2 rounds, and came away with a 3-shot victory, which was really awesome. And all the guys, that is a great thing. All the guys contributed, and we got a huge 66 out of our freshman Callum Masters final round. In which he got 7 under, almost got it to 8, and made a bogey on the 17th hole, but we made some key putts on 18, knowing they needed to for us to kind of put the win away,
right.
and that's going to be huge for us to grow on, as the season moves on. And then we traveled down to Tallahassee, and expecting to play well. We like that golf course, and you got Auburn moves to number 3 in the country, and then Florida State's there number 4, and several other teams. Penn State ranked 21st, and something I didn't say in that Auburn victory, we beat the number 25 team in the country as well in Kentucky.
Right.
But we go down to Tallahassee, play decent in the first round, a couple bogeys at the end of the round, and we're at 3 under par. Get a text that night that we're going to play 36 on Saturday due to the potential weather on Sunday. So we get ready to get out and play 36 holes, and we don't get paired in the final group. Florida State, the way the pairings were, they were in the final group, and then I'll say Auburn was a couple of groups behind us because they were a couple over par, and we go out that second round that morning and break a school record to par, shoot 16 under. Had Luke Moser shoot 65, tie our school record, 369s by Cam Norman, Callum Masters again playing well, right. And then oh goodness, Clay Vanoy. And then we go in the second round. You continuously play when you play 36. Nobody takes a break. You just keep playing, and we scoreboard watched a little bit too much, right. And got a little ahead of ourselves. We had a 10-shot lead on Florida State and Auburn, 2 of the top 5 teams in the country, and the guys, they know they should be there, and they know they should have that opportunity to win, and we just got ahead of ourselves, and 4 of the 5 guys got off to horrible starts, but we picked it up at the end of the round and made 7 birdies late to eventually finish 6. So we shot 3 under on the day,
right.
Which if you look at the whole day, it's not bad, but we broke a school record, and then we probably played one of our worst rounds of the year in the final round. But we got a lot of good out of it. Callum Masters shoots 66 again in the final round and finishes 3rd in the event. So he's woke up for us, and that's something we talked to I've been kind of talking about, kind of waiting for him to kind of come about, and he's still got a lot of things he's got to take care of and learn. But seeing him play well this entire week was really good.
Right, and you had a very experienced lineup coming back, a lot of veterans that you could have been good with them, but having a freshman come in and play as well as he's doing, that's got to be a big boost.
It's huge. Adam Pendergrass gave me our new stats for the day and today, and Callum's got a 77 stroke average in the fall, 73 in the spring. Okay. So he's playing well when we need him to play well, and he's finally, and he'll admit this, he's finally helping the other guys.
Right.
And that's something that he's wanted to do, and he's put a lot of pressure on himself to do that. And all this hard work is starting to pay off, as well as all the guys. They're all doing a lot of good things, and they're out there right now practicing. While we're doing the show, and it's I asked them to take 2 days off, and they were practicing yesterday. So it's one of those things where that poor play for 8 or 9 holes is going to sting them until we play again at the 1st of April.
And where are you going next?
We go to Charleston, South Carolina to play at the Hootie in Bulls Bay. It's a really big event, probably the strongest field we play in the spring. And it'll be fun. That first night we're there, Darius Rucker puts on a concert for the teams. He's the official host. So that'll be a real neat experience for those guys. And I'll enjoy it too. Probably Hootie was around when I was in college than them. But it'll be good for them. They'll be able to kind of relax and unwind for a day. And after 2.5, 3 weeks of good practice we're going to put in, and then we'll play our final regular season event before we get ready to go to the Sun Belt Championships.
And is this a new course for them?
It is. Okay. It is. We've not played there before. It's we've heard some things about it. It's going to, from what I hear, suit us. It's kind of a big hitters golf course, and we hit it pretty long, and we tend to make a lot of birdies, and right. And that's kind of a course they say that's what you need to do on. I mean, I think the second round at Florida State we had 23 birdies and 4 eagles. Right. So it's we're very capable of being explosive. We just got to make sure to put it away when we have that opportunity.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for joining us, and good
luck
so when that comes up.
Appreciate it.
All right, join us again next week for more of It's Tea Time.